Hi, my name is Kevin and I collect old irons. Animal depictions on old irons are quite an interesting topic, and we're going to look at a few of these today. Animal themed decorations on old irons are most common in early European irons, 1500 to 1700, getting into the 1800s. These often had heraldic themes. They were generally from Scandinavia and Northern Europe, and very commonly were individually made by craftsmen of the period for the landed gentry. In this video, we're going to see cats, horses, deer, cetaceans, dolphins, whales, fish, birds of various feathers, snakes, and dragons. And we'll see these on flat irons, slug irons, coal irons, gas jet irons, gophers, mangle boards, and more. All that list is irons with animal themes from old Europe. Animal themes on American irons are almost non-existent. You see a little bit of waterfowl, ducks, and geese on toys, and we'll see those in a later video. But for American irons by and large very practical, did not need the animal embellishments. The only exception is the Myers goat fluter that we've seen in some previous videos. So let's take a look at some of these. I have very few animal themed irons, and that I have is from the 1800s for the most part. What we're going to see here, besides some members of my collection, is we're going to see some pictures from Theo Vanderberg, Jack Horrible, and some pictures from some Hartzell auctions. There are two iron categories that frequently carry animal motifs that we've seen in previous videos. One of these is the Nordic, by and large, wood mangle boards which have horse handles. This particular one from my collection has got an 1856 date. Here is a mangle board from Jack Horrible that shows the horse handle, and also has a duck carved onto the board along with some floral patterns. The other iron category that commonly shows animal motifs are the gopher irons, which frequently enough include snakes. These snake gophers are oftentimes individually made, practically works of art. They're widely sought after with very high values, $1,000 or more oftentimes. But I have one here. This is a cast and thus more common gopher, which has, I would call them lion paw feet, and this motif was very common in furniture in the Victorian age. For Celtic and Nordic flat irons, both snakes and horses commonly occur. Here is one from the recent Hartzell auction, a snake flat iron, which sold for $500. Here is another snake-handled flat iron, and here is a horse-handled flat iron. This is a Norwegian iron with a horse handle. There are many variants of this general type. Most have a highly decorated base that usually includes flowers. This one has a similar decorative base design with flowers and includes a brass fish handle. We shall stay with a few more flat irons. This one has a deer design on the base. Many of the animal themed irons are especially unusual. This one has a row of ducks beneath the handle. I think this one is French. This is a Russian iron depicting a whale from the 1920s, and here is another whale themed iron. This is an iron that Kate and I found earlier this year in Sweden. The dealer and I talked about it for quite a while and jointly decided this is late from the 1700s, rather early for the irons in my collection. It is a slug iron with a door in the back. There's no slug included. It has at the base of the posts a rather simplistic, in this case, depiction of what I think is a dolphin. This dolphin theme is quite common in European irons. Apparently simple irons in the 1700s and getting more elaborate as you approach Victorian times. Usually these are made of brass. The irons we're looking here are also slug irons. Age and country, provenance often unknown, seldom marked. This one is dated 1866. is probably a wedding gift. And here is a snake on a slug iron dated 1851. We have previously seen a variety of European coal irons with front latches. There are various animal subjects, but the most common being roosters. These roostered irons are apparently quite commonly made in Mexico and other places in South America, and from there make their way to American antique shops. This one is a very detailed rooster on the latch, and there's also a cheetah on the back vent. There is quite a group of European coal irons with animal chimneys. These are fairly common in Europe with many varieties and come from Denmark, Germany, and extending across modern-day Poland and into Russia. This is typical of a pretty big group of European irons with animal heads. Particularly this one has a dragon head. You can tell it's a dragon because you've got some of the scale work on the back of the dragon on the top of the box. This is fairly typical in that the latch is on the left side and it opens on a hinge from the back. With these, there's quite a lot of variation. The picture here includes a pin from the back and the top that lifts off the body. And here's another variation from that group. I bought this at the last Hartzell auction for $120. It is a bit unusual. It's like the previous one, and it's got the latch here on the left and it lifts back on a hinge at the rear. This one has a shield on it, and the markings on the shield and the general design here, which is a lion, suggests to me that this is British. Although, as is typical for these, they don't have much of markings that allow you specifically to tell the country of origin. Another similar group is larger in size Taylor irons, and this one is fairly common. It is Swedish. It is listed as the Husqvarna company, which made stoves in old Sweden and is still in business. And this has a dragon, which you can tell by the back, and the wings are again at the top of the box. This one pulls out here and the top lifts off. And this is another iron of the same general size and construction. I think this one is British in that it has a lion structure here and also has a very lion type vent back here, otherwise unmarked. This is one of those examples of an iron that I really didn't plan to buy, but late in the auction, this was at $80, $90, and I bought it as an opportunity, and I'm now very much happy to have. This is a pretty interesting one. They're common enough, they're in enough variations, I think they might have been made by multiple companies in German and perhaps the surrounding countries. This one has a dragon motif here on the latch. You can tell a dragon, it looks more like a snake on the head, but it's got the wings down here. Very interesting design. Dragons are also a common motif on the side of German and Austrian gas jet irons. And here is a dragon on an ox tongue slug iron. And I have to emphasize, this is tip of the iceberg stuff. If you look at the catalogs for the iron auctions or some of the better collections, there must be hundreds, if not 1,000 or more, uniquely different old irons, again mostly European, that have animal themes. There are so many, there are so various. It's a very interesting topic. It's also a topic that takes a lot of money and a lot of space if you're going to do a good job on. Thank you very much. You might note also that we're starting to show some short videos of individual irons of particular unique interest. And as always, please like, subscribe, and watch again.